Okay, here we are, setting up some ground blind area, fixing tree stands, moving tree stands so I don't get spotted. Look at this. Now that is a big old buck hammering a scrape. I mean, he's hammering it. Licking branch here, completely destroyed. Look at that, right on the corner of the field. Just a little brush line here on the edge of the field. That's funny. All right, time to set up shop and see if he comes back. Yeah, I'm just out setting up stands, moving stands. There's deer out. But no hunting today because it's Sunday. Not legal in this state. They only have certain days you can hunt on Sunday, unless you're hunting fox and coyote. All right, we'll be back to get you later. I'm sitting in a stand on top of a hill here doing a little bit of recce. Now that they cut down all the crops, pretty much are all gone. She's looking up. There's a doe up in the field here, but she's on her own. We're just waiting to see if any bucks come out. See what's going on. Okay, now there's a bunch of deer. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now there's 6. Now it's tough to see because it's very light, but they're coming down the edge of the cornfield. Or was it cornfield? Let's see if they walk the way up to me. 4. Now there's 4. I just seen them. Now I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But they're all does. I'm back in the tree stand after work again. Had a successful scouting night on Monday, I seen 11 deer. They come up through the hollow here, and then they fed towards me. I was up on top of the hill over here. I'm gonna kind of sit here and see if I can see if there's anything moving and where it's moving from. They're after cutting pretty much all the crop fields now. There's some standing corn left, but not much. But they're mowing the rest of the soybean tonight. They had a problem with the combine, with the transmission on it, and they repaired it. Now they're cutting the rest of it, but I'm gonna sit tonight and see if I see anything. I do have my bow with me tonight. I had deer the other night, on Monday night, within 25 yards of me. All does though, I didn't see any bucks. But we're gonna keep an eye out tonight and see what goes on. They were really interested in this cut corn here. There's nice green wheat coming up in front of me now here. And then down behind me, my other stand too, there's lots of wheat just starting to germinate. We got rain, a couple of days of rain. The ground is pretty soft now. And that wheat germinated immediately. I figured it would. I have seen some cruising bucks. Saturday I seen that monster. I seen another buck Saturday. On my way out I seen one more buck. Good one. Now the bucks are starting to cruise a little bit, but I haven't seen those. There's a lot of scrapes around me here. But I haven't seen those tendon scrapes. Not yet. I don't think they're quite ready yet. It's November 2nd today, and it's 70 degrees. It's like, what is going on? You just cannot get a cold snap. And Saturday was pretty cool. I was wearing my winter gear pretty much all day. It was windy and it was cool, but today is not like that at all. Man, with the crops cut now, the deer really could come out of anywhere. They're not following any patterns, they're just coming out wherever they want. It's gonna make it much tougher for me, but okay, I'm gonna sit tight and see if I see anything. was a successful night though. I can see a deer. There's a doe here. She looks like she has a broken front leg. She's not using her leg. I only seen one button buck that was with that big group of does. That is so hard because there's like 20 sets of eyeballs looking at you. I think the deer that were below me, they wanted to come up the hill. But with all the leaves gone, I think she silhouetted me. She didn't win me. But she knew something wasn't quite right because I smell like diesel fuel. Even my scent blocker can't stop that. Milling around behind me for an age. The ones that are in front of me now just went over the crest of the hill. But yeah, that big bunch of them came right across the middle of that open wheat field. Then they came up the wheat field here right at the crest. And they were eating the wheat on the way up. Because what they're doing is they're working their way to those cornfields, just like they did on Monday. Now I have a stand at the top of the hill up there. But I think what I'll do is I cut a hole in that bush on top of the hill. And I think I might put a ground seat in there. And see if I can't get one from the ground. I seen 15 does and not one buck. I'm just gonna wait for it to get dark now. I got a half moon. I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit darker, then I'm gonna sneak by out without pushing those deer. I don't wanna bump them. I have them patterned now. This is the second time I've seen them do that. So I don't wanna spook them. Try and take one from the ground up on top of the hill there. There's thick cover up there for me to sit in as long as the wind is right. Okay. I think it's about time to pack it in. See, even the geese were laughing at me on the way out. See, the boys are loading up the last of the soybean on the other side of the hill here, but I didn't see any of those deer come down into the valley. So I know they all stayed on that side, on the top side of the hill. Oh man, they're wandering the open now. You just see the sunset going down behind me there, look. Yeah, they're wandering the open. We'll get one. Well, kind of wasted my time, I think, this morning hunting. Didn't see a damn thing except a feral cat. It's November 5th. It's pretty much, I think the rut has started. There's bucks moving, there's bucks chasing. From evidence that I've seen, I've seen some fresh rubs this morning. I've seen scrapes that weren't here last week, so I don't know what the deal is with the movement today. It's very warm. It is November 5th and it is 73 degrees. That is unheard of for here. But as you can see behind me, nope, that's not real. That's my buddy Doreen. And she's a decoy. Now, using decoys, you have to be real careful. Don't ever use a decoy in gun season. Especially on public land. That's a mistake. A big mistake. And here I'm on private property. and it's still only archery season. And I have a trail camera actually set up right by the decoy. Now I just sprayed it with some scent killer because obviously I handled it and it's warm today. So I sprayed the whole decoy after I pegged it down into the ground. And you can see the tail here. I have the tail propped up, and then I've got a scent wick on the tail with some dough and heat on it. Now over here behind me I have a mock scrape that I made, and then down here there's 2 more real scrapes that actual deer made, not me. And I have some scent. I have my tree stand is right here, and I have some scent on over the scrape as well. Now it's windy. This morning it was flat calm, but it's windy now, so I'm hoping that scent is going to carry. And I have a scent wick here. I have a scent wick at the scrape. I've got a scrape dripper, and then I have a scent wick actually on the deer and the decoy. So I don't know, I've been seeing deer all week, and I came and sat in this morning, the one day, of course, the weekend I can hunt, and I haven't seen a damn thing. Not a thing. But we'll see. Farmer's mow. Oh yeah, now the wind is coming. Farmer pretty much mowed all the crops. There's a little patch of corn left over here. The crops are really poor this year. So they're really bad. So the deer movement now is all different than what it was. It's not the same as it was. See, now here's a rub tree here. The deer rub this tree every year. You can see just a little rub there on it now. You can see this tree here. They rub this tree here all the time too. I have a camera right there that's coming across from the woods. You see here they made a little bit of a scrape. Now there I have a mock scrape. You can see I have scent hanging up in it. You can see my little, it's right there. Okay, let's go sit and see what we see. Well, it's the last weekend for early bow hunting season. It's November 11th. It has been true to form for my entire hunting season this year. I'm hunting in stand A, and I can see stand B over here, on the other side of the valley. I just had 4 does pass right underneath it, within bow range. It's skirted right around me in this stand. that pretty much sums up my entire archery hunting season and early muzzleloader season. I didn't see where they went. They followed the ditch you can see behind me here. They followed it down along the field edge, but I didn't see them cross the field. So I'm not too sure where they went, but I think we're getting the back end of a storm. That was in the south. I think it went into Florida there. Because it is windy as hell. It was raining all day yesterday. Heavy rain all day. And this morning it is windy. This tree is swaying back and forth. And the wind keeps switching direction. Those deer were super, super spooky. I mean, they were on edge. You could say they were not relaxed at all. They were alert. They didn't stay around very long. They moved. They just kept moving. I seen my decoy. Put my decoy up this morning. That I have a camera on. I seen some deer on the way in, but that was, you know, an hour before it got light. They were out in the crop fields, out in the open. It's so freaking windy today. Well, we're gonna give it a go anyway and see what happens. I see plenty of squirrels moving around. I have my squirrel rifle too. We'll go and get that later. Alright, let's sit tight. I just had a small little spike buck cruising through the woods here in the valley below me. I called to him, but he didn't even react. It's so windy, he couldn't hear me. He didn't come out on the field edge or anything. He stayed in the woods and he just went down the woods. So I think what I might do is move. It's pretty windy here on this scup of the hill here. What I might do is go sit back down by the cabin where it's a little more sheltered and see if I catch any cruisers coming through the woods. The landowner shot a really nice buck last week off this, close to a mock scrape I had down here on the other end of the valley. One of the neighbors shot a big buck too. Actually, it was a buck I had on camera under this stand, big 12 point. I was, I think, on the outskirts of his home range. Man, he was a dandy though. Whew, he was a beauty. I actually have pictures of that buck in velvet in August under this stand too. I also had pictures of him on another camera I have at the other end of the property. So he was moving around this area, but I didn't see him very often. This is like prime time for bucks moving around, making stupid mistakes that they usually don't make. The deer movement has been slow this morning. It's very warm. I think they won 65 or 68 degrees today. I can't believe it. It's warmer now than it was in October. And it's really putting a damper on the hunting. Man, I've just been super, super unlucky this season. I've seen a lot of deer. I've seen one of the biggest bucks I've ever seen on stand. I just could not get a shot at him. I missed one deer with my muzzleloader. I had a powder malfunction on another deer with my muzzleloader. I've had non-legal bucks under my stand. That's just been one thing after another. Sometimes that's just how it is. You just gotta roll with the punches. We're just gonna keep an eye out and see, you know, if we see anything moving. Not last year, the season before, I had a big buck cruising at like 11 o'clock. I almost got a shot at him too. He came right down through the valley and I called to him and he came right to me. But then I called at him again to stop him and he looked right at me and he busted me right away before I could get a shot off at him. That's the disadvantage now. You can see around me there's no leaves. So the deer can profile you in the tree pretty quick. I had that issue earlier on in the season when I had to stand up on the other side of the little bowl here, and they kept seeing me in the tree. They wouldn't win me because my wind direction was good, but they just kept looking right at me and up in the tree. They'd silhouette me. All right, I think it's time for a location change. And we'll give it another go.